Right. Yeah, now I feel like I have to do some sort of Aussie accent for a second just to prove I can do it. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's ever an excuse, I'll do it. But, they have not demonstrated that there is actually an Australian in this game, so...
Quite a kokoro.
I begin to think,
Good
Wilson,
God, no!
said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction,
Aye, Watson!
that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been seen.
This cup of
And
opium!
under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
It was really funny. As soon as the cutscene started, Amy opened the door, and her brother, I could tell her brother was standing right there wordlessly because she said, "You're so fucking scary!" In the middle of the night, not even knocking.
There is such a Jello character in this case. Interesting, since
should we at Aram to see if he's around?
You can if you want. I don't know if Herlock will show back up.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
Mr. Naruhodo!
No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than a day, even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Burya, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other, like a puppy. Oops, sorry.
Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except when I learnt that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Oops, sorry about that.
I told you not to go raiding the goddamn minibar!
The building was just so impressive, and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. Oh, I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
I really am sorry.
Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. Let's go sleep at 221B Baker. If we were not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days and less.
Oh, London is a scary place. I have to imagine that's Will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, well!
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. Scary as ever. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. It was a real shit show, sir.
Susato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Stronghold.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Oh, yes. It was very eye-opening, thank you.
And, in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh.
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country... My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that you won't be a problem.
Another case?
I mean, not that you would be a problem for me ever. I mean, I'm not a villain. Anyways, Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Oh, no, you're right.
Oh, I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
Yep. We were just here.
Mr. Naruhodo!
I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. No, it's just I never managed to ascertain the truth, and then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
He's super dead. Sorry.
What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial.
What? Mr. McGilded is dead?
That's quite.
Certifiably.
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
Who are you, Marissa? In chat, no way.
No way.
I can't even do it. That's such a very specific way that they have of talking.
way.
No way.
Ain't that the place next to Sweden? I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime in which Mr. McGilded had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No.
How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
Someone chat, bailiff, burn his pee-pee.
Oh, right, if we're going to hit him, we're not going to need a billy club. We're going to need a willy club for this one.
Right, bring it out.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention.
I'm going to knock your head off.
We've had games
Shut
where
up,
the
Will.
lawyer's a bad guy, and games where the judge is a bad guy, and games where the chief prosecutor's a bad guy. Finally, the final boss is a bailiff.
And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
They'll never
going
imagine
back
I'm
to-
going to kill myself.
A diddly do.
Surprise!
An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation.
Oh my god, did Van Zeeks literally just murder his ass because
I
he
hope
made a
so.
fool of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
This match.
I don't think it's because he made a fool of him. Zeke's clearly had some history with this guy and really wanted to
Yeah.
get him fucked over.
This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Oh, Mr. McGilded.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Like I
It
find the
was a
taste
fucking circus!
like I find the taste of everything in London. Awful. Oh, well,
Yes.
I burped. I don't know. I mean, it was... Wow!
Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old.
Wow, Susato-san has such a way with words.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right one.
Can you read my mind?
I think I can. I just think I can at this point.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
Our judicial system is the most advanced in the world. The most advanced in the world, is it?
No.
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
Die.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve.
Huh.
And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, never mind.
Someone in chat, Susato,
I can hear Cozima's sword ghost snitch on you.
You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I've prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
Did you think McGilded was innocent for most of his trial? Did the game manage to trick you guys? I thought he was innocent until like 20% into Gina being there.
Yeah.
I started purposefully reading him as the villain pretty early in this sitting. What's going on? What was he going to say before?
Nothing.
Sorry, I'm texting Amy what I want, and I spelled Tostito, and I said whole wheat, W-E-E-T.
Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned?
No, good luck. Don't tell me.
Okay.
It's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry. It's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment.
You have 20 minutes.
And it's 2 murders. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did something?
Yeah, someone was raised from the dead.
Did he just read my mind? Am I speaking? Wait, what?
That is to say, no one has died as yet. And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's tomorrow, then.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yes. I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... Well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial.
Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case.
Someone says, I think a good time to end the stream is when you meet the defendant. Okay.
Cool. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh.
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, here we go again.
Here we go again! Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you.
Oh, what is that?
Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asagi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Cosmo always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. And now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh.
Another thing? Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important. And what exactly would that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done... Okay.
You're out of time. Oh, thank you for your enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what is all this about? Mr. Asagi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand.
Hello.
I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he been there?
So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
Someone in chat says, I don't know why, but I'm absolutely giddy about the way Civ voices Susato. It's so good.
Oh.
You do a lovely job, my dear.
Thank you. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
Civ always does a good job as the assistant. It's just that this is the first one we like that she's gotten a chance to voice. I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we'd better talk to the detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right. Hello, top of the Does he have chips? Oh my god, does he have a thing of chips?
He sure does.
I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all.
Oh my god.
I think this is gonna be you, Will.
Of course.
Could we trouble you?
What do you think?
Lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery... Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know.
But Susato-san told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's crime scene to it. I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Now I'm hungry.
Oh, I could go for some fish and chips.
Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of! Damn! Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard. Go into tatters!
There's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
Someone says, I think this guy is Watson. No, Watson is the little pink-haired 6-year-old girl we met.
Yep.
Aye?
This is Lestrade. This is another Lestrade, I think.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
Are you gonna be one of those characters who's really nice to pretty girls? I hate this archetype.
Oh.
It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable! How did she pull that off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
People, Tobias Gregson of Scotland Yard. Due to the way I investigate, people just call me Bias for short.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson?
What's the matter with you, Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her?
Inspector, you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
You're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato, but he's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him very well, in fact.
Very well?
Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Ranst Magazine? Oops, sorry.
That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry.
It's so interesting they took the name Lestrade and gave it to, like, a street
Gina.
urchin instead of keeping it
Yeah.
on the Lestrade character. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise.
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name is known all over London town now.
You know,
Can you
if
imagine the heartburn this guy gets?
if you showed me this character design, I would never guess he was from an Ace Attorney game.
Yeah.
That's great, isn't it?
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it is not! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street! People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors?
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper. So I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying, as sure as eggs is eggs. I like that, actually.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Did I read that wrong?
Oh.
No?
Oh, like to just hang out with. I get it. Okay.
Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
Anyway. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital unconscious.
That's despicable! What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind?
Have you ever heard of a man? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you?
Yes, they used a
It's
killie
neither
club.
here- That is neither here nor there, Mr. Notterhudo.
Brace yourself for your Inosuke, you've angered her now.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
It's
I forgot my tea.
it's
Oh no!
it's literally just Will Powers again, the exact same man.
Oh.
So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit.
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Also, someone says, also weird that the fourth case in a 5-case game is filler. Not really, a lot of the games do that actually. I guess.
BRB real quick.
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry,
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Beric von Zeeks. Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks.
We just kicked his ass.
We believed to be the harbinger of death itself.
The Reaper of the... No,
Bay.
that was me.
No. Oh, but she can
I
read
was
your
just reading
mind.
what I saw.
Baron von Zeeks. Oh, excuse me, Lord Baron von Zeeks.
Lord Baron von Kings.
Who we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
Told him about us, I think. Yeah, we...
Hold on, Amy's knocking. Jesus Christ.
Ah.
This Reaper of the Bailey nickname, I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it?
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
Ha! And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus Begilded came a cropper in that omnibus. Him a cropper? Oh. When it went up in flames. Yeah. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, you can. Can you say? Yes, you did. Hello.
Uh-oh. What are you saying?
Even they know I can't read. Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic.
I love the first Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie.
I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that?
Look at Amy, look at this guy. He walks around with fish and chips and a newspaper. Good for him.
Right, well, I've filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place.
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
You've branded him a criminal already.
He's as good as... shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle, if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53. Thank you. My degs are getting gregged. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something
troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage too.
But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help?
No.
Hold on, what if it's Herlock and he's just shaking because he's got coke withdrawals or whatever?
You know what? It's gonna be Hosonaga, isn't it?
Oh no.
After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes, let's go!
You're very cute.
I know, Civ's adorable.
Wait. Please, God, no.
So, these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these. Yes, actually.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
Apparently our client is in this cell here, but it's so dark at the back there I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Am I a cat as yet with no name? Calling me by a number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Oh no. Oh no.
Mr. Naruhodo, what?
Oh no.
What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. No. Oh, okay.
Oh, Golden Kamui
Golden Kamui,
character.
man. Oh my god, his eyes. What is going on?
What have you seen?
Excuse me, but shh! Quiet! It's okay. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening even now. I can sense it. It really is a Golden Kamui character.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Right, so if there you are! You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. A ghost?
We mean you no harm, prisoner-son. Are you Japanese by any chance?
Oh.
This is beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. They're speaking in Japanese right now. I know, but like, do you really want me to attempt to do a Japanese accent? I don't want me to attempt that. Oh, it's
Nope.
fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing that sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment!
I love this guy already.
Daijobu.
My name is Daijobu!
But you can call me Joe.
Who could have... Neko, stop playing Deltarune. Who could have guessed this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon!
This is just a Golden Kamui character. I cannot.
It's pretty unbelievable. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yes, I can, I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent. Dark dreams don't die.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato
Mikotoba.
Mikotoba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume! Soseki? I don't know this.
Soseki.
Soseki. I don't think I've ever seen that name before. Soseki Natsume. Alright. I think let's call it here, and we will meet this man next time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think chat was right for suggesting that's a good stopping point.
Yeah. That's exciting. What a lunatic. Alright, thank you, chat. Oh, he's an actual author. Oh, this is a real guy.
Oh my god.
Spoiler alerts, I guess.